Hello, welcome to External Star Channel. This is a brand new Maserati Quattroporte and this one is from AUTOart. Today I will review this car and describe it the best I can. And now I think before we start the unboxing, it's time to say that this one is produced since 2013, but this is the 2015 facelift or refresh, and this is the GTS model. And actually in real world this one costs $140,000, and this model from AUTOart was actually 400 euro. And actually I bought it for 200 euro after discount. So now maybe you can watch the real car and how it looks like in reality. So let's start the unboxing, and I will start here, and maybe you can see that this box is a little bit damaged and I don't know why. Maybe somebody already attempted to open it before me, and that's a little bit frustrating because when you see a box like this for a car with original price tag 400 euro, which is maybe something like 450 US dollars, then you are a little bit disappointed, of course. So let me just take this out of the box and see the car itself. Okay, so what we see here is the very beautiful and nice gray color car, and also I see something here, and I will check later how to remove it. Oh god, no, again there are those hooks who typically harm me, or yeah, last time I had an injury made by this hook. Okay, so oh, finally, look at that. There is something like a guide how to remove the protection stripes. So upside of base plates. Oh, what does that mean? It's so difficult, you know. There is actually a manual how to remove them, and wow, so many steps. It's like 12 steps to detach, and okay, detach here, detach there, and okay, so I will try to do it myself without any guide. Okay, so let me first check if there are some screws or not. And yes, there are actually 4 of them, and there are also some wires. So the first thing that I will do is to probably detach those wires. And okay, so like here and here, and I just hope I'm doing the right thing. Look at that, this is so... Oh, maybe first I should remove the screws and then those wires. Alright. And I'm sorry for that, this is for the first time when I'm unboxing such an expensive AUTOart. Yeah, and the original price 400 euro, that's something unbelievable, and maybe that was for the last time when I paid something like that for a brand new model, and just because I wanted this one, and there is no other manufacturer other than AUTOart producing this Maserati, and it was missing in my collection. Okay, so obviously I should maybe hold it as well. I'm holding it. but there are still those wires, so I feel quite confident that it will not fall down, and it's quite tightly screwed here. Okay. Here we go. So you see, it's still holding because there are those two wires, and okay, so now it's the time to remove them as well. 1 and 2. So now, since those wires are gone, I think they are still somehow attached. Incredible. Okay, so let me check this again. So first here I remove the screws, alright, then something here and under the hood. Okay, detach here, detach under the hood, and there's also something like that here, I don't know. Okay, so probably I should not be that stupid, and I should somehow see what is there, but it's not that simple, you know. And I will probably need a little bit more time for doing that, and a little bit more investigate. Not online, I will maybe turn off the camera a little bit, and okay, then I will do it manually, so please bear with me. Maybe now watch some other stuff and I will be back. Okay guys, so now I spent something like 5 to 10 minutes removing all those wires and hooks and everything. Like, this is so dramatic, and I have never seen anything like that. This is incredible how much attention they paid really to secure all the parts from moving. And for example, this wire, it was so difficult to remove, but finally I managed, so I can actually start with my review right now, when the car is finally fully unpacked. And I must say, it's beautiful. And this is the Maserati Quattroporte, Italian equivalent of Mercedes S-Class or BMW 7 or the Audi A8. So this is the competition and comes from Italy. And of course it's very, very, very beautiful. And here the license plate, it only says Quattroporte, and here this is the logo of Maserati, and here one more time a second one, that's one a little bit smaller. And then we have the headlights, and they are really detailed. And you can see, for example, here the orange part with all the LEDs inside, and then there is one huge headlight here, and also a little stripe here. What I really like, that everything here is perforated, the front grille, and probably you can also see the ventilator behind. And sometimes cars don't have those air intakes perforated, but here it's so detailed. Can you see this small net here? It's beautifully done, it's metallic, and it's really so tiny, small, but still very detailed and realistic. And of course you can also see those 4 parking sensors here. Okay, so that's very beautiful, and maybe now time to show you also the wheels. So you can see the red brake calipers, beautifully done, and maybe there is a small sign saying, I don't know what is that, maybe Pininfarina? No? I don't know, it's so small I would need to use something to enlarge it a little bit. Yeah, magnifying glass or stuff like that, I don't have it. And then there is another Maserati logo here, and the brake discs, wow, very beautiful, because you can also see those tiny holes. And those tiny holes are used to ventilate the brake disc a little bit, yeah, to cool it down. And sometimes when models don't have those small dots, I'm very disappointed, but it's here, and I am super excited. The rubber really feels like rubber, so that's very good. And also they can turn something like 45 degrees, which is also cool and fully satisfying. And then we can also see here those three I don't know, are these air intakes, or maybe just perforated here to take the air out of the engine, I don't know. And then we have the very nice and beautiful door handles, and then we have the chrome trims here, everything fully in line, yeah, so it's so beautifully done. There are absolutely no gaps. 400 euro you pay and you get this. It's 100% quality. So the rear wheel, the same like the front one, very nice quality again. And then there is a nice logo here, also Maserati, so in case somebody doesn't know what car you are actually driving and then they see this, they would definitely know what it is. Okay, and then from the behind, and you can see some small details here. So that's the Quattroporte here, and that actually means 4 doors. Yeah, Quattro is 4 and Porte is doors, so this actually has really 4 doors. It's a sedan. Here Maserati, and again Quattroporte on the license plate, and this one is GTS, which means that's the most powerful Maserati Quattroporte produced. As I already mentioned, this is 140,000 US dollars in reality, and also it has V8 engine producing something like 500 horsepower. So let me also check it. And is there a button? No, there is no button, so I would need to open it very carefully with this tool. And I don't want to scratch anything, okay? Nice, so that's the V8 that I mentioned, and actually, yeah, it says V8 as well. And this engine is actually shared also with some Ferraris, like the 488. That has the same V8 engine, and it is really beautiful. And here the small Maserati logo here, and then there are also some other details, and here is, for example, the battery. I hope it's the battery. And then we have some other compartments here. I don't know, for example, where to change the oil. It's not visible anywhere. Oh, maybe here. That could be the oil here. And then there are some, probably those 2 turbos here and here. Okay, and here it says Maserati. So very nice engine. Maybe only here, this plastic part here is not that nice, but the rest, like the core of the engine, that's beautiful. And I'm also wondering why those lights have also this reflective part here in the engine bay. Yeah, that's a little bit strange to have it also here. Normally the lights are ending where they are, and here, oh, look at that, it's moving a little bit. I'm not sure, I don't want to destroy anything. And here it's not moving on one side, but it's a little bit moving here on the other side. That's maybe a quality issue, and I'm a little bit concerned, but right now it's still holding, so I'm not doing anything. I will not use glue because it would be visible, so I will just keep it like it is, and it will not fall apart. Okay, so that was the engine. Okay, so I think it's time to also see the interior, because the exterior, as you can see it, it's excellent, and it's completely lovely and beautiful. So let me also show you what is inside. And the very first thing that you will notice is that when you open the door, actually this glass is very thin, and There is nothing around the glass, so it's like some sports car, really. Yeah, when I compare it to, for example, some spiders from Porsche, it's the same. Okay, and now what is actually inside? So it's quite a dark interior and not so much visible. So I will do also one thing, that I will open it from the second side, and I will just shift the camera a little bit. Alright, so what you can see here is the steering wheel, and this is actually connected to the wheels, so it's perfectly working. And one more thing here, this is the gear shift, and it's also working very much. No, it cannot be actually moved, but it's okay. And then here we have the seats, and unfortunately those seats, they look a little bit too much plastic. Yeah, it should be imitation of leather, but it doesn't look like leather at all. It actually looks very much like something plastic. And then of course all the details here, so let me just focus on that. Okay, so there are some gouges there and stuff like that. And of course you can see here a little bit of different material. This is carbon, actually imitation of carbon. And then there are some controls here. When I focus on the door, there are some buttons with nice gray color, and actually here it says really L and R. L for left and R for right. It's so tiny you cannot see it on your screen. And here there's also one button here on the seat, very tiny, and there is no color over it. And here there is this Maserati logo here, also very beautiful. So I think it's also time to check the second row of the seats. So again, it's very plastic, it's too much reflective, and I would expect a little bit better material here. Everything is gray, and here there are some controls for the radio or air conditioning. And actually I would also expect that here on this headrest, from the other side, that would be LCD screen, but there is nothing like that. Yeah, so I don't know how this can compare to Audi A8 or S-Class from Mercedes if there are no LCD screens. And actually the second row of the seats doesn't look that luxurious and comfortable as when I compare it to its rivals. And here you can also check the trunk. There is still this hole because there was the wire, and I will just mask it a little bit. I will put it back. Okay, that's better. And there is quite nice carpeting and nothing else. Actually it's empty, but it's not so bad overall. Okay, so that's the exterior and interior, and let me also now check some other features of the car. And I will just close the door to make sure that everything is working as it's supposed to be. Now let me show you the suspension. Actually it's not working at all. There is no working suspension in the front, and with the rear seats it's the same. I just can't press it enough, nothing is happening. Okay, and one more thing, this gas door, it also cannot be opened. So far I've had only 2 models where this gas door could be opened, and obviously it's not one of the most requested features because even AUTOart is not doing that. Okay, I think it's time to also check it from the other side, and here we can see a huge AUTOart logo, and here the 1 to 18 Maserati Quattroporte made, or no, this was not made but crafted in China, because it was probably handcrafted. It's such a nice model, and then we can see some pipes over there, exhausts, all the details, and there's a different color. I don't know why this color is there, but then we have this again chrome exhausts here, and there are really two. Sometimes there is only one pipe or one exhaust leading into two different parts, but here we have really two, so it's not fake. Okay, so overall this is really lovely, and maybe now time also to compare it to other cars similar like this one. Alright, so as I mentioned, this Maserati is in the same class like this Audi A8 or this Mercedes-Benz, and one thing that I already noticed is that maybe this Maserati is slightly smaller, at least when I compare how huge this front size is and the width, actually the width of this car and that Audi is a little bit bigger than this Maserati. On the other side, this Maserati looks much more sportier, and also when I check the length of the car, and I can check it here, then you will probably see that it's probably the same, maybe even that Maserati is a little bit longer, isn't it? Yeah. So I don't know which one would you choose, but definitely for me the winner is still this Mercedes in terms of how luxury the interior looks, and then if I want something more sportier, maybe this one, because it has 530 horsepower and it's probably a little bit stronger and faster than the Mercedes or the Audi. And let me just also turn it to see the size of the trunk. And here again I must admit that this Quattroporte has maybe the smallest trunk out of these three. Okay, let me just open it. It's a little bit hard here. Oh, not really. Maybe it's very comparable and the same, very much the same. Okay, and carpeting everywhere. Only this Audi, it doesn't have the carpet. So, wow, okay, all of them quite nice. I love all those three cars, but when I also check the rear seats here, it's a little bit plastic here. There is not so much decoration, and it's just gray and simple. On the other side here you can see there are only two very luxurious seats, and they are fully movable, and they can be also shifted backwards or forwards. Something like that cannot be done in this Maserati, and actually also not in this Audi. Okay, so the Mercedes is the winner here in terms of how greatly the second row of seats is done. And then when I compare the lights and the quality of those lights here, the quality is like 80%. Here with this AUTOart model, everything is perfectly in line. There are no gaps. Quality control maybe 9 or 10 out of 10. This is so beautiful, and also here it's so small and still visible. Like, look at that Quattroporte, it's so tiny and it's still there. The GTS here, that's beautiful. On the Mercedes, there is the logo, the lights, also beautiful, but the quality of this AUTOart Maserati is maybe superior. I love it so much. Okay. guys, so I think it's time for the final rating, and this Quattroporte is really a beautiful piece in my collection, and I would like to thank you for watching this video. And now my final rating is